So really the boost for Quirk through the network is access to people, access to clients, access to intellectual property, and all these little nuggets of support that I'm only discovering as we go. As an example, support in procurement. We do live in the age of procurement, and as an independent agency, it is difficult out there. I mean, we've had clients dictate a rate card to us, and often there's been a bigger negotiation done on a global basis that we will hopefully now be able to benefit from. Yes, firstly is a simple answer, internally. We've never really liked sharing our numbers externally. I think it's more of a cultural thing. So when someone says to you what you earn, it's just an inappropriate question. So where we've had to, for board entries and things like that, we've revealed the bare minimum. But internally, nothing will change. We get up once a month, we video conference all the agencies together, and we have a thing called the Quirk Station Chat, which covers a number of issues. But the thing we start off with is our financials. Our terms were broken up into two main categories. The ones that allowed us to keep operational independence, so having flexibility over who we hire, procurement, the ability to be transparent, have a profit share. And then there's the elements that protected our culture. And I think in isolation, any of the one things would have been fine, but when you add them all up, it's a challenge to do a deal on that basis, but it was non-negotiable for us. So as an example, we give our staff sabbaticals. After 5 years, you get a month. After 3 years, after 10 years, you get 3 months and a return ticket to anywhere in the world. Now, many listed companies would see that as a huge cost. We know from experience that it is a huge cost, but it has massive benefits. And we fought hard to protect that. As another example, we have these things called pajama days, that if you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like coming into the office, but you still want to work, you can phone your boss and say, I'm going to be working from my bed today. And, little things like that are the things that make us Quirk. In a sense that it might give us more credibility, yes, but no, I don't think it's necessarily going to change that opportunity dramatically. So firstly, we're not trying to rush into that. Where we think we can deliver a good service to a client, we will offer it to them. But we just turned down an opportunity to do a big above-the-line pitch because we just felt we weren't ready for it. And the last thing we want to do is overpromise and underdeliver. But I do think in time, as we use the network to learn, then it is going to benefit us, because fundamentally I don't think digital agencies will exist in 10 years. So I think it's a necessary transition. It's not an easy transition. My gut tells me it's easier for a digital agency to go beyond digital than it is for a traditional agency to get digital, because you either kind of get digital or you don't. I was in it for the opportunity. We could have done a deal 3 years ago. We turned down a great opportunity back then. We could have done a deal in 2 years' time. We had to wait until we could do a deal on our terms. So it was about protecting the future of the business, the 50-year future of the business. So if I get run over by a bus, there's a structure behind it. But it was about trying to get the upsides of a network whilst trying to protect what's important to our business, the culture, the operations, the name. And that's why we chose to do the deal now, because the market was ready for us to be able to achieve that and achieve some of those terms that were critical to us. So if you look at it this way, I mean, the size of the South African media marketing space is, depending on how you define it, but 40, 50, 60 billion. The Quirk's agency turnover last year was about 140. So if you look at that in the scope of the bigger picture, we are a tiny, tiny drop in the ocean. And the reality is that there's no barriers to entry in this business. Clients have got huge amounts of power. As I said earlier, clients have dictated rate cards to us. And I say there's no barriers to entry. Someone can literally walk out of a door and say, I'm an agency, and they are. People have done it at Quirk, and it's my favorite reason for people leaving Quirk is to start an entrepreneurial adventure. So I don't think it affects competition. In fact, I think, and someone actually wrote an article on it I read yesterday about how it actually might benefit a few more independents, because certain clients want to work with independents. And maybe there will be some churn for our business in that respect, but I like to think that we've built up really good relationship and trusted relationships that maybe where they came to us initially because we were independent, they'll stick with us because they trust us and we do a good job.